active as ever. Hilma has achieved much throughout winter. The raising of a windmill, the construction of her home here, and a massive collation of clay to build a great big oven. Now, Hilma would need a pantry, a proper pantry that she could access both in winter and in summer, ideally without having to go outside. But for that, the cave would need to be reorganized somewhat. And in doing so, a proper front door would keep all of the nasty things out, at least for now. In the long term, proper defenses would be needed. If a carnivore caught her scent, or the scent of the other animals that call this cave home, it could drive them into a frenzy through anything we prepare. And so, going forwards, we will keep that in mind. But first of all, Hilma, we've got some acorns to grind. Kia ora, Legionnaires, Rycon here, and welcome back to Cataclysm Innawood. We are here with Hilma Baron, with our fireplace lit up. Now, speaking of acorns, we should actually be able to grind them. However, we do need to cook them first. That's how we kind of release all the tannins from them. At least that will be the plan. As for our pantry, we are going to have our pantry be in this space here, but we do need to do a few things first just to make it kind of fit well. We are going to end up knocking down this wall here and constructing another down in. We're going to end up knocking down this wall here and constructing another wall here so that we can make a nice proper front door in this spot. We might have to have a look at moving the kiln here to another location, but we'll see. I'm honestly not against just having this door knocked down, turned into a door that we can use for the pantry, and then just kind of slipping into these two squares. We'll see how we feel about that, but first of all, we have a whole heap of acorns that we need to try and process. So popping outside, we'll be sure to grab them all. Yeah, we're not going to be able to put that into our backpack, so let's just move that to the side then. We'll have a good munch while we're here and get moving back inside. Right, now, we do get a batch shaving from this, but there is a chance that we could have some failure. I really hope that we don't, because yeah, I don't want to lose them. 5 hours and 2 minutes, so it's a fair whack of time that we're spending. And here's the thing: the acorns aren't liable to like go off, so maybe we just start off with 10 lots of them. And oh boy, you know what? We'll finish it off. It took us a little bit longer than I would have liked. Just because of our weariness more than anything. But now we will actually be able to go to sleep and get all that weariness back, which is going to put us on day 26 of winter. We're probably going to want to try and stoke that fire. Actually, you know what? No, we don't need to. There's a burnt log in there. So we'll leave that out for now. We'll go to sleep. And when we wake up in the morning, we'll look at processing some more of these acorns, eh? And you know what? We are going to need to get some more water too, so we will gather that up in the morn. I am kind of just realizing now how long it's going to take us to process all of these acorns. It takes a lot of water, for sure, but for us to do 50 acorns, it takes 10 hours, and that is just for, this is cooking one acorn at a time, not like a decent portion of them. It's one at a time. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Let's grab these acorns for now. I do want to see if we are going to be able to have them be ground in this. Insert products. We can put cooked acorns into there. So what I would want to try to figure out is if there is a way for us to almost automate the process of this cooking. It's simple enough. I wonder if we just put a whole heap of the acorns into the fire with the water, whether or not we would get them to be cooked after a short time. Because obviously when we put just regular water into the fireplace, it does cook and it becomes clean water without us having to go through the process of using a recipe. So if we got a whole heap of regular acorns, put them into a clay pot, put them into the fire, maybe then they would turn to cook acorns after a while, or maybe we'd just completely ruin them. I think it's worth us experimenting with that. We will put the other cooked acorns into here for now though, and let's have a think about that. Right, so we've got this large clay pot here. I'm going to see if we can go and insert a whole heap of those acorns into there. Right, so we'll just say acorns. We'll see how many. 600. Okay, we can get 600 into there. Let's go put it into the fire, and who knows? We might actually be able to get something out of this. The oven might be a good idea rather than the fireplace, because we might kind of have other effects to that. Unfortunately, I don't think we can take the stone fireplace apart. Not easily. I'll try and take the pick to it, but yeah, maybe we'd want to wait until the fire goes out. So you know what? We're just going to leave this here for a day. We will see what ends up happening with that. But yeah, we need to grab our pick anyway, because there is work for us to do outside. First of all, I think we are going to chip down this wall so that we can construct a rock wall over here. So we got our bronze pick. Let's pop outside, and I don't know whether or not we are going to need the light for this. I don't think we're going to. So let's have a look at activating that, and we are going to mine through this rock here. Okay, there we go. And let's just move that to the side for now. We didn't get anything cool from that, but that's all right. So it's going to take 6 hours for us to do this, so it's going to be most of the day that goes into this. That's all right. So I think what we'll end up doing is advancing a fair bit of time here until we've got this process done. There we go. First bit done. And so that's just a half wall at this stage. We want to make sure that that is a full wall. So more stones, more rocks. Let's put them in place. And there we go. We are wary at the end of that, but we've got a proper wall there now. So we could go and create another door. And I think we'll probably end up doing something similar to what we did with this door here. Just because hinges are a bit of a pain in the ass for us to make. In saying that though, if it is our main door, it would probably make sense for us to try and make it a bit stronger. We can also look at reinforcing an existing door. It doesn't say that yeah, it's weird. It doesn't say that it needs an existing door. Anyway, I think we are going to go for this option here. So obviously we are going to need nails. We are going to need those hinges. Oh, and that fire is out. Okay, so we've got hot acorns. Yep, indeed we do. They are not cooked. I do wonder if, I wonder if it's going to be possible to do it this way. I really cannot say for sure. What I think we're going to do for the moment though is just move some of these things over. So we're going to shift them to be in the oven instead, and I'm tempted to see if we can crack this with our pick. Yeah, we don't seem to be damaging it at all. So that fireplace isn't going anywhere anytime soon. I think we will eventually be able to get rid of it just by having a tool that has bashing that's high enough to do it. For now though, we'll keep this area lit up. The oven is now ablaze. You know what? Thinking about it again, I think I am going to go for the makeshift option. We've already got a short cordage rope. We just need to make one more for us to be able to do that. So I'm going to collect some nails, the planks necessary to get the construction started, and then we'll get to putting that door in place. All right, time to door frame. And there we go. We have our makeshift door frame in there. Next step, we just need one more plank and we need one more rope. So we should be able to do that before we get to any form of extreme weariness. We're just doing our last little bit of grass gathering so that we can make the rope we need. Right, let's whip them up in next to no time at all. With those, we're going to make our short cordage rope. Only 3 minutes and 6 seconds. Bam! So, that should be what we need for the time being. Indeed it is. So, let's get the door in place. And just like that, we have our outside door sorted. We actually have 2 doors between us and the outside now, so I'm definitely happy with that. What we could do eventually is look at knocking out some of this and using it as an entirely different room, which I love the idea of doing that. You know, this whole cave could be a really, really nice home for us. But the next step is going to be that pantry, so we need to chip away at that wall there. We're going to drag back our extra construction supplies for the time being. And because we're extremely wary, we are not likely to be able to chip through this without, completely collapsing into a heap. And it looks like our acorns are just staying hot. Unfortunately, they're not going any further than that. As much as I want to process the acorns, I don't think it's worth us doing right now. I think the best thing that we can do while we're extremely wary like this is just focus on, let's say, making some more pemmican. Now we still have all that rotten tallow, but we do have some fat that we actually haven't processed yet that's still frozen. So we could have a look at making some fresh tallow, which I think is probably best done now. So yeah, let's get this thing processed. Now obviously we're not going to be able to get all of that done today, but we can at least work until we get tired and the sun sets, and then we can continue on it tomorrow evening after we've done all of our physical labor during the day. And before we go to sleep, we actually need to grab some more water from downstairs. I'll be damned. Okay, the mushrooms that are down here are looking pretty good. They've matured. They'll be ready before too long. Good to hear it. Mushrooms, way to go. Good morning, good morning. We have our pick in hand, and we need to pick where this door is going to go. Now, I was thinking here originally because then you can kind of just go through the side, but I don't know if I like that so much. I think having the door over here will still work perfectly fine. We can put a root cellar in there, or maybe we might not actually be able to if it's the stone, the rocky floor. Maybe we'll get back to that. But regardless, we are going to be able to store food in here. Yeah, see, the thing is, if we do want it to be 3 long, we'll need to remove our kiln here, which I think we might be able to take it apart. Probably worth me looking at before we go and make any permanent changes, because we don't really need this stone fireplace to be here. Deconstruct simple furniture. Let's turn on our light and see if that's possible. Indeed it is. Okay, well there we go. We can get a few rocks back from that. And all it's going to take is just other rocks to be able to build a basic field stone wall. So yeah, let's get that done, eh? As the sun rises, we've got the first part of that wall in place, and no, we do need to have it like that. I was considering for a second because it could be a good way for us to get off of the roof. We could always do that somewhere else, a half wall that is. Yeah, let's finish this thing off. And there we go. Tough work, but we got it done. Right, now, do we want to rebuild that kiln right away? Well, we could, and we could always just build it to the side there. I feel like that would make this a little too busy. I mean, we could always try and see if we can move the butcher's rack. Yeah, unfortunately, we can't grab it and move it around, but we could reconstruct it. Or alternatively, we could just kind of build the kiln off here towards the side. I'm not against that. I also think it's probably worthwhile us taking down this other little fireplace that we've got here, just because we ain't going to be using it for much. Yeah, you know what? The charcoal kiln can just go back here. That works. Get that done quick, fast, and then we'll just make sure that these other resources are out the way for the time being. Right, back inside. We'll close up our door here, and let's go just push you along, Maple, because we don't want you getting out that way. Get a new log into that fire there, and we're going to have a look at chipping down this wall, that wall, and then the other 3. So moderate weariness at the moment. Let's see how much we can actually get done here. Oh boy. Yeah, we're struggling to get through 1 at the moment. Extremely weary. I'm not surprised about that. Not in the slightest, but hey, we got that first little bit done. Unfortunately, no extra resources from that. It is what it is. That's okay. We're just going to continue working on the tallow now at this stage. Oh, and it's raining outside. As we are tired, we've got the tallow done, so we'll put that away for the time being. And we'll have a look at actually making some pemmican tomorrow. But that is also something that we can do when we're extremely weary, so I think the first thing is just going to be burning energy, chipping away at the stone. Time to sleep again. And good morning. The fire is out, so we'll be sure to get that started. Well, actually, in saying that, we don't have to have it going right now. We'll work in the dark, or at least in the very, very dim light as we chip away at all of this. It's so much faster to do when we aren't tired. Like, it's amazing how quick we can actually use this pick. Up this way we go. I'm slowing down a little bit here, but we should be able to get this last bit done. Actually, in saying that, I don't know if we need to have another square there. Honestly, I think just having a root cellar here, if we can, and then having a cupboard for storing food, because we can store like 2,000 liters in a cupboard or a bookcase. I'll have to have a look at that. Weirdly enough, bookcases, yeah, they work for storing more than just books. But that's what we're going to be popping into that place. And we will make sure that we have a door here so that we can kind of try and control the temperature in there a wee bit. But for now, let's just haul all the rock out of there. And it's a fair amount of rock. We can't see how many rocks are there, but it's a lot. Yeah, 78. Yeah, a fair few. So yeah, okay, so for us to build the root cellar, we do need to have a pit. And I'm not sure if we can dig a pit in rock. We could certainly try, couldn't we? Yeah, the only thing that I think we can do is using a proper pickaxe, you can dig a deep pit underground. So it's possible that we might be able to do that. It would take a fair amount of stamina to do, I'm sure of it. It might actually even be too deep for it to be classified as a root cellar. So yeah, maybe for now we just have a look at making a wardrobe over there. And by wardrobe, I mean either a bookcase or a cupboard. And honestly, I'm pretty sure it is the bookcase. We just need to have a few extra planks and 2 wooden panels, which we can most certainly build. So let's stay nice and warm as we work. We'll start up our fire. And yeah, I know we should probably move our crafting table over here to make things easier for ourselves. Ideally, it would just go where the old fireplace is at the moment. So we can make 1 wooden panel at the moment. We are going to need some more planks to do it though. So we need our axe and we need to chop some of these logs over here. There we go, we got our planks. Let's make some panels. There is a chance that we can fail here, so let's do them one at a time and hopefully we get some more basic carpentry skill from this. Right, it didn't see us gain a proficiency there, but we got that done, so let's go and make another. Those are the 2 panels that we need. Okay, we're going to need some more nails now, and we are actually going to need some more planks as well, so we'll get straight onto that. That's the planks dealt with. Now let's deal with the nails. Unfortunately, it's 3 hours for us to do it, but we'll get 100 out of this. There we are. Nails done. And we should have everything we need. Build a bookcase. And let's build it up here. Bam. There it is. Okay, so let's have a look and see how much we have in terms of storage on that spot. Yep, 2,000 liters worth of storage, which is the most I think that we can have in one space. So as far as a food pantry goes, we're going to be able to store a ridiculous amount of stuff there. Next up for us though is building yet another door here. And we should have enough planks to do that, I think. I stand corrected. We need more planks. That's okay. I think it makes sense for us to do another makeshift door because they are easy for us to make and it doesn't need to be super robust. That's some more planks, and that is actually enough to get the door frame in. So let's get that thing framed. So it looks like we can actually use some long sticks to put that together, but we are going to need 2 short cordage ropes. So for that, we will need a fair amount of grass to be cut, but there's a lot of it up here outside. So I'm going to go and gather up a fair amount of straw. Right, it's now dark. We're extremely weary. Let's head home. Time to make some pieces and then in turn some rope. All right, we got it all. Time to door. Let's put that thing in place. And there we are. It is now separate from us. Good. Now, before we go to sleep, we aren't actually tired yet. We're extremely weary. I do want to try and see if we can make a whole heap of pemmican, or at least start that process. So, working on 50 units of pemmican, it will actually give us 200 portions of the stuff. Let's get that process started. And being tired, we will stop. Unfortunately, it is classified as old, which ain't great, but it still is going to work as a good daily food source for us. So yet again, Hilma, it's time for us to rest our head. Day 29 of winter, we're nearly back at spring. That'll mean we've survived a whole ass year. Good morning, world. Let's get that fire started. And we're going to keep on working on that pemmican first thing. And there we go. A whole heap of pemmican made. Now, we did lose some process there, but I think that would have helped us get our skill up a fair amount. Food handling is on 78% at the moment, which is fantastic. Now, we are overburdened currently, so we're going to go and drop that pemmican off right now. And it does say it's going to spoil soon, but we've had that with a few things. Like the shelf life of this is meant to be 3 years, so when it says soon, I don't think it actually means soon. Unfortunately, it does still make us a little thirsty, but that's fine. We've got water coming out of our ears. Well, not literally, because that would be really bad. And you know what? We're getting quite warm, aren't we? Legs, torso, yeah. What a thing. We're actually sweating from it. Seems like winter is losing its grasp over us. Now, the real test is going to be how cold we can keep things in here. Right now there is actually hot air in that square, so we're going to want to try and keep that door closed as much as possible. And honestly, the next thing that I think I would like to try and work on in here is trying to build yet another one of those. So the bookcase that we have at the moment is super helpful when it comes to storage. Right now, this crate that we've got doesn't actually help us out that much. It has the exact same amount of storage that the floor does. So I think we probably want to try and see if we can take this thing apart, make something new. What I am going to do for now, and it's something that I should probably do a little bit more often with Hilma, is just get her to relax and take off some of her armor while she's in here. So we're going to go and remove that body armor for now. We'll just go and put that into the wardrobe that she's got up there. And having a look at our temperature, that's a lot better already. We've still got our gambeson on, we've still got our arming pants, but yeah, I think that's going to help her out a fair bit. As for the other tallow that we've got, we are most certainly going to be turning that into lamp oil, because that's something that we're always going to be able to use, and it's not something that spoils, and it doesn't really matter if we use rotten ingredients to make that. So, time to deconstruct. Let's take that thing apart, and it's going to take a moment for us to just move everything off of that square for now, but I'd love to try and make yet another bookcase there. So all we need for that at this stage are wooden panels. We've got the planks. We are going to need some more planks though, so we'll chop up some of those. All right, we've got some planks. Time to make those panels. And we're going to be lacking the nails. We got the planks to make too. Well, that's okay. Let's just make one for now, and we are going to have to make some more nails yet again. Go have some clean water before we do anything else. Then we'll make some more nails. All right, that's done. The sun has set at this stage. I'd like to get this done today if we can, so we'll just have some of our lovely pemmican for dinner. Let's make this panel. And you know what? How close are we to learning carpentry? Basic carpentry, we're still on 46%, just down the bottom there. So we're not quite there yet. And we do need more planks, so I'm actually going to have to go outside to get some of the logs that we have there to work on. Which, you know, that means that we are probably going to have a look at chopping down some more trees yet again. Which I'm certainly not against. Because yeah, we've only got 2 more logs up there at this stage. We definitely do go through the wood, don't we? But yeah, that's it. We've got everything that we need to make this fantastic shelf here. Let's use the nails that are on our person. And there we go. Yet another. And it does actually block line of sight, which I guess is useful to know. We could probably put it up there and not have it be too troubling. Honestly, it's probably not a bad idea. Let's just go and shuffle some things around here. And are we going to be able to move the bookcase? We can, without too much trouble, it seems. Yeah, okay, that's an alright spot. We'll release that. Now the anvil. Can we move you okay? Not easily, but we can remove it, I think. But you know what? I am okay with it being there. I totally forgot that we had the freaking smoking rack in here as well. So we need to make sure that we keep that recharged just so that we don't have to use the oven here. And in actual fact, it might be better for us to move that down here, seeing as we're doing so much kind of crafting in this space. Okay, so I've just been playing around with the zones here. I don't want to touch any of the rocks and stuff like that we have off towards the side, but I think this should help us organize everything okay. In actual fact, we are going to extend this out a little bit further because I want it to include the pantry as well. All right, we've got that all sorted. Let's see what the sorting process is going to look like for us. Let's sort out that loot. All right, heck yeah. I think that is everything. Everything sorted into its place. It's pretty much all tools and whatnot up there. Our pike should be there as well. Oh, and it looks like there are a few things that they don't really have a place for yet, which that's okay. Most of these things can just go up here with everything else. Honestly, if our pike just lives here for now, I'm okay with that. But this is looking tidy. This is looking good. I am happy with this. Now, the only thing that I'm not happy with is having the fireplace just chilling out here still. Yeah, need to figure out how we are going to be able to break that down. This does have a bash of 20, this bronze axe. It's not a bad option, is it? Let's just whomp away at this here and see if we have any joy. Okay, we don't seem to be damaging the fireplace. It's going to need something a lot more damaging than this. I think it might be worthwhile us having a look to see what we can make that can hit real hard. It looks like we've actually unlocked something else under other that I didn't see earlier. A bathroom scale and a thick rubber chunk. Right, those are just new things, I think. Because yeah, the fabrication skill needed to make them is 1. But back to weapons, let's have a look at bashing and see what's going to do the most for us. 30 on that bronze mace. Right, so Home Wrecker kind of gives you the most bang for your buck for 35, but the Iron Shod Quarterstaff, that sounds like a good weapon for us. Just in terms of what it can do, it's a lot. I know many of you do really like the Quarterstaff as well. It doesn't have range, but as far as a close range weapon, it does a whole heap of really good things, and it being a bash weapon as well is really nice, considering there are some quite thick dinosaurs out there. So to make a quarterstaff doesn't actually take us all that long, so you know what? Let's give that a shot. Bam! Quarterstaff in hand. A little thirsty, so let's just sip some of that water. So we're going to need 2 chunks of steel for us to be able to work this. And you know what? We can do that. Let's grab the hacksaw. We've only got 1 chunk of steel right now. So that means that we're going to need to get steel from elsewhere, e.g. using the bloomery. Yeah, as we only have 1 chunk of steel right now, we don't have any lumps at this stage. But we do still have quite a few other chunks of metals over here. I might actually want to shift them to here. It's not hematite, but I think that they will still be useful to us. Because yeah, cassiterite can give us tin, galena is lead, we've got our copper and silver there as well. But unfortunately, not what we need. In saying that though, we could still have what we need right here. And I don't know how we might be able to do this without getting a cave in, but clearing out this space, that could be worthwhile. If we find ore there, then that would be great for us. Unfortunately, there aren't any other trees for us to collapse up at the mine here, but that isn't to say that we couldn't find another cave. You know, I think most of the resources that we got from this cave, we got from underground, the ones that were just naturally occurring in the bottom level of it. If we could find another cave like that, we'd be sorted when it comes to metal. Right now, for Hilma, everything else in her life is sorted. I am really looking forward to spring, because with spring, we'll be able to get those wild vegetables again and potentially tame that reindeer. If we can get something as fast as a reindeer, then we'll be able to ride and scout all over this massive area here. As I really want to know what's going on with the river. I want to know if it goes all the way down here and kind of winds around, because that could be fantastic for exploration too. Although I'm unlikely to actually travel on the river itself. We know how dangerous that can be. And I know it might not seem like we made as much progress with Hilma today as we normally do, but we still did get quite a bit done. The real test of this pantry is going to be whether or not it can actually get cold enough. I hope so. I mean, let's have a look outside real quick. I mean, here's the other thing as well. It's not going to freeze during summer. That's okay. Yeah, some of the stuff out here is still frozen. However, yeah, we can see that stuff is already starting to thaw out. There's lots of these berries that aren't frozen anymore. So I guess it's getting warmer in general. But that doesn't mean in winter that things will stay frozen in here. That's good to know. And I don't think the heat will transfer, as we'll have this door closed. It shouldn't be getting warm in there. It would be great to be able to have a root cellar still, but it isn't an absolute must for us right now. We have ways to preserve food long term, and we have a fair amount of flour now too. Unfortunately, the acorns are still an issue. There's no quick way for us to deal with them. I was really hoping that we were going to crack that one today, but alas, we're not quite there yet. There might be ways for us to do it though. We can actually make just like a separate clay pot oven, and I wonder if we could activate this to be able to slowly cook things over time with us not having to kind of sit there and babysit it. But I don't know if that's going to be possible. Unfortunately, the acorns, which are still just hot in the pot, don't seem to be doing too much. Unfortunately, you can't store... Actually, in saying that, I could be wrong. I was going to say I don't think you can store water in there when you're storing acorns in there as well, but we might be able to. I don't think that will do anything. Let's just try and pour some of our clean water into a container. Yeah, it can't go into the one that has the acorns in it because you're kind of mixing things there. Yeah, as much as possible, I'm trying to utilize these tools that turn tasks into just passive things that can happen while we are working on other stuff. Because believe me, there are so many things that I want to be working on with Hilma. We're really only just seeing the start of what she is capable of. I want to bring full-blown industrial agriculture to the area here. It is hard work tilling these fields. If we can make a tool that one of our dinosaurs can pull behind and, turn the soil, that'd be grand. And I'm pretty sure that we'll be able to do that. But we are going to need a lot of resources to be able to do it, namely a whole heap of steel. So in the next, we'll be entering spring and hopefully finding some wild vegetables so that we can tame our friend Rudolph and explore more of this land, because there is still so much more out there and it's a dangerous world. And the thing with Cataclysm is the longer that you play, the more dangerous it gets, the more evolutions the zombified enemies will go through, and even just the mutated ones as well. There are some dark and dangerous days ahead for Hilma. So for now, let's just enjoy our time up here with Maple, with Ryan and Sarah. Hilma, you've nearly made it a whole year. And the next, we'll celebrate. I've seen suggestions for doing a big feast. I absolutely love that idea. So, the 1st of spring shall be our feast. We will eat like we have never ate before. So please do join me then. And for now, if you enjoyed today's episode, please consider leaving a comment or a like to let me know if you enjoyed the show. For now, I have been Rycon. You have all been awesome. And until next time, stay tuned.